Hello, my friend, and welcome to the 40th edition of the monthly bonus episode of Something for Everybody. So, if you're watching this, that means you're a YouTube member or you're a supporter and a subscriber via Patreon. So, if you are watching this, that means you directly support me, the podcast, You Are Loved, and all of the businesses that I'm trying to do to hopefully make this world a little bit better. I thank you. I thank you, and I deeply, deeply love you, and I appreciate your support financially, monetarily, with your time, with your attention. All of these things I'm extremely grateful for and understand how important they are, and where you can put your money and your time can go anywhere, and you choose to give it to me and to my platform and the things that I find most important through this podcast, through the conversations we're having, through You Are Loved, which is my mental health nonprofit, through Shop for Everybody, through all of this stuff that I'm trying to create to hopefully makes a little dent in this world and makes this place just a little bit better, makes people feel a little bit more loved, a little bit more equipped to handle the challenges that life has to offer. And you being a YouTube member or a Patreon supporter are helping me do that. And you directly support this, and there's no way I'd be able to do any of it without you. So I greatly and deeply appreciate you. And I just wanted to make sure that's the most important thing I say at the top of every single one of these episodes, that these are for you. And so throughout the month, these come out on the first Monday of every month. The first half of this is never released publicly. The second half is a meditation, which you guys get about a week before it's released publicly. But this first half is just stuff that's on the top of my brain, current events, things that I'm thinking about. But I really want it to be a Q&A. I want to answer questions that you guys drop, whether on YouTube or on Patreon. You have to be a paying subscriber to get your questions answered, and you have to be a paying subscriber to actually be able to watch these videos, except the second half, again, is the meditation, which is available about 6 days after it's available for you guys. But this first half, I want it to be specifically for you. So drop your questions anywhere. Send me an email, send me a DM, post it on a YouTube comment, post it on Patreon, post it in any of the group chats that you might be a part of, either in the Facebook community or on the Instagram community, on Instagram chats, or like wherever you follow me, directly message me or post those comments or questions, and I can directly answer them here, as long as, of course, you're a paying subscriber. And so tell your friends about it, tell everyone about it, because the bigger communities we have, the more we can help people. And so this comes out every Monday. Then either the first Wednesday or Thursday of every month, I'm going to do a live stream Q&A. I've done about 4 or 5 of them so far. I'm doing one every month. So I'm just trying to add more and more pieces to the subscriber base, to this online exclusive community of YouTube or Patreon, so that we can build this community together. And I'm also building a community out on Substack. And then at one point, I just want to have everything under one roof, which I think eventually will be Substack. But if I can draw from YouTube, from Patreon, from Instagram, from Twitter, from everywhere, from Facebook, from my newsletter subscribers, and then feed them all into Substack, and then have that one large community where everyone is like-minded and trying to be the best version of themselves, it's just much easier for me to communicate and talk to you guys. But for now, we're doing it all through Patreon. And so this episode comes out on the Monday of each month. So throughout the month, send me your questions, and then we do a live stream Q&A hangout for all paying subscribers on the first Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday of the month, depending on what I have those nights. And if I have other stuff going on, then I schedule it either on that Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So the first week of the month is huge for this, and then you have the rest of the month to think about your questions, to comment, to post, to think about ideas, so that we can answer them for you either on this episode or on the live stream hangout. And then we can get to know other people in the group, and so we can make relationships and friends, and we can all be under one platform. And I think it's going to be amazing. And so that's what I'm really thinking about, just trying to, what can I do more for this community? How can I grow this community? Because I think that's where the online space is going. All these other social media sites are crowded. And if you really want to hear from me and my takes and my opinions on certain things, let's all be on one platform and let's grow an actual community together. Because I know how important relationships are. Relationships are the most important thing. And if I can build those between people in the community, and we can all just be friends, and we can hang out, and we can do events together and live streams and hangouts, and people can meet each other and all these sorts of things, whether we're in different parts of the country, doesn't matter, or the world. Like, we all have a similar interest or a similar vibe, whether you like the podcast, or you support You Are Loved, or you just want to learn ideas and insights, and you feel connected to people in the group. Like, that's the whole point of this all. And, so it's amazing, especially since I'm having my first kid here at the end of September. I've talked about that a lot. I'm going to continue talking about it. This room currently that I'm in, my podcasting studio that I've built in a spare bedroom in my house, is going to become my son's room. So I'm currently in the process of trying to build a podcast studio, recording studio, office in my backyard. So I'll send you guys all the details of that. I'm going to sort of film and record and sort of make a vlog of the guy who's creating it all and the whole process it'll take to build this podcasting studio and to get electricity out there, all vlogged and put on my YouTube channel, obviously posted on here and Patreon and all those sorts of things for you guys to see the sort of a building process of this becoming my son's room and the new podcast studio that's going to be put in my backyard. The whole thing is going to be amazing. And so me and my son, when he's alive and born, we're going to hang out in that studio and he's going to be on some sessions and it's going to be great. So thinking a lot about that. Also, the meditation we're doing and a little bit is about self-care. So I just wanted to talk briefly about self-care and maybe some questions you can ask yourself as you dive deeper into what you might need, what you don't need. So first question is, what is my number one self-care strategy? What's my number one self-care strategy? For me, it's sleep. When I get 7, 8, or 9 hours of sleep, I feel way, way better when I prioritize that. When I get into bed early, around 9:15, try to fall asleep by about 9:45. Now I know when I have my son, that will not be possible and my sleep schedule will be totally fucked. But then we'll get back on the same sleep schedule. My son will get on a sleep schedule. I'll get on a sleep schedule. My wife will get on a sleep schedule, and we'll all be managing that as we move. But I know that is number one self-care strategy for me, along with exercise and moving my body. What is your number one self-care strategy, a non-negotiable that you put into your calendar every single day that you do no matter what? It's eating well, moving well, sleeping well, thinking well. Those are the foundational pieces we have. What part of those foundational pieces are most important to you? And what's your number one self-care strategy? It's not getting your nails done. It's not getting a massage. It's not going on vacation. Those are luxuries that sometimes we can't afford or don't have time to do on a day-to-day basis. Definitely don't. But what is something that is non-negotiable, that it's free, that you can do every day, that you can prioritize, that is your number one self-care strategy? Boom, you got to do that. And then the 3 questions to add on top of that is start, stop, continue. So what's one thing you want to start doing that you know is good for you? What's one thing you want to stop doing that you know would benefit your life? And what's one thing that you want to continue doing? Continue doing is just like, I'm giving myself credit for doing this thing. I've been eating well. I've been moving well. I've been sleeping well. I've been thinking well. I've been prioritizing my relationships. I've been doing all these things. I recognize that I'm doing that. Rewarded behavior is repeated behavior, and I'm going to continue doing that. Boom, good job. What's the one thing I want to start doing? I know I need to do this thing. It's in the back of my mind. I just haven't started yet. Okay, how do I make this habit too small to fail? I'm going to start it. Boom, there we go. I'm off to the races. Then what's one thing I want to stop doing? Because we know the fastest way to improve our life is to stop doing things that make us feel like shit. The fastest way to improve our life is to stop doing the things that make us feel like shit. So what is one thing that we can stop doing? So now we have these 4 questions of what's my number one self-care strategy? What's one thing I want to start doing? What's one thing I want to stop doing? And what's one thing I need to continue doing? That is going to be the sort of the foundational pieces for building your self-care routine, whatever that might be. And then you have something to lean on. You have some foundations. You have some tools, some protocols that you can lean on no matter how you feel, because we want to stick to our protocols, especially when we feel like shit. And that's really important. And then through all that, you can create these if this, then what statements. If I brush my teeth, then I do a jumping jack. If I wake up in the morning, then I work out, right? Whatever it is, create it for your life. But it also allows us to run things on autopilot so we don't have to have decision fatigue by making the same decision over and over again. This is just what you do. If this, then what? Boom, it runs on autopilot. Then we can use our decision-making muscles for more important things in life, like all these other things that have to do with our family and kids and all these sorts of things. But we have to have these foundational protocols, these toolkits that allow us to be our best version of ourselves day in and day out so we can flourish for society, for our family, for the greater world, whatever that might be. So think about those questions as we jump into this self-care meditation. It's very short, 5-minute self-care meditation. I've been doing a lot of 5-minute meditations because we're busy individuals, we're busy people, but we still need to make time for ourselves. Saying you don't have time for yourself is saying like you don't have time to put gas in your car before you go on a road trip. course you do. You have to put gas in your car before you go on a road trip. So saying you don't have time just means you're not making enough time to prioritize yourself because you don't see the downstream benefits of doing this alone time, of doing this meditation, of doing this breath work. But hopefully I've convinced you enough that this is going to be the most important thing to start filling your cup so that you can be your best version of yourself for the other people in your life that matter most to you. So we are going to go into this self-care 5-minute meditation after I take a drink and, of course, get the meditation prepped. But you guys are Patreon supporters or YouTube members, so you get the backstage access of me sort of sorting out this, getting the script ready and all these sorts of things. As I work on my meditation voice and my meditation presence, you guys are working on your meditation, because if you sit down to breathe, you are meditating. It's not a right or wrong thing. You are doing it. So let's get ourselves situated and let's rock and roll here. Let me get my meditation vibe on here. All right, here we go. Hello, and welcome to this short guided exercise designed to give you a moment to yourself, because you and your well-being matters. And it can be really hard to make time for ourselves. There are always so many competing priorities, and that is especially true if we're taking care of others, whether that's a parent or caring for an elderly or sick family member, or perhaps you just need to step back from work or to take a break from your studies. It is all too easy to get lost in all the obligations that we have. So my intention with this exercise is to help you cultivate some space that is just for you and your self-care. It is just as important as everyone else's. And if you're taking time to nurture yourself, it means that you can then show up for those around you in a more meaningful and compassionate way. So let's take a moment to get settled, whether you're sitting down or lying down, knowing that this time is for you. So allowing your shoulders to soften, the hands just rest on your lap or down by your sides, closing the eyes if that feels right for you, or just adopting a soft downward gaze and taking a nice couple deep breaths, breathing in through the nose, into the belly, and then out through the mouth. And with each inhalation, that sense of breathing in space for yourself. And with each exhalation, that sense of letting go, whatever is not serving you, and allowing your breathing to return to its natural rate and rhythm. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Connecting in with the physical points of contact. The body pressing down to the seat, and perhaps offering the following kind phrase to yourself. And you can adapt it however you like. You deserve this time. You matter, and so does your well-being. One more time. You deserve this time. You matter, and so does your well-being. It is as if you were talking to a friend, being kind and gentle. Now guiding your attention back to the breath, just tracking the sensation of breathing and knowing that the mind will wander and perhaps get caught up in the long list of responsibilities. It's okay. We can meet it with kindness, even saying, thank you, but not right now, and then coming back to the breath. So noticing when the mind wanders, saying thank you, but not right now, and gently coming back to the breath. So coming back to the physical points of contact, the body in the seat, the sense of being held and supported, perhaps noticing sounds around you. Opening the eyes now if you had them closed, and noticing how it feels to have given yourself a few minutes. A few minutes just for you to pause and to nurture the mind and body. And I invite you to take with you your kind phrase, perhaps putting it on a Post-it note or somewhere you can see it to remind yourself that your well-being matters and that you deeply matter. Thank you for your time and attention.